Starting a Pokemon card business in 2025 could be one of the easiest ways to make money, or it could be one of the hardest ways, and that's why I decided to do it anyway. In this week's episode, if you've been following along with my series of starting a Pokemon card business, I'm going to be covering my experience and takeaways of vending my very first show, talking through business expenses, next moves, and at the end of the video, I will be announcing not one, but two exciting new things for the future of this channel, so make sure you stay tuned. Of course, give me a follow over on social media, over on Instagram and TikTok, and also join my new Discord. There's a bunch of us who are just starting out our Pokemon card businesses, and we're all in there helping each other out. We're making sales, we're trading, doing all the good stuff, and just giving each other advice and encouraging each other in how to build a Pokemon card business. Also, if you're looking to get started with your Pokemon card business, check out my Amazon affiliate links in the description. These are a lot of the supplies that I have used to kickstart my business, and if you're needing to do a restock on supplies, save those links so you can always have access to those products when you need them. Hey, what's going on, fam? It's Brian Bri. At the beginning of 2025, I decided to pursue one of my passions of Pokemon cards and decided to start a business. A little credibility check on myself. I've been working full-time in creative media for about the past 10 years, overseeing creative teams, social media teams, production teams, and before that, for the better part of 10 years, I was a regional sales manager for a manufacturing company where I oversaw multi-million-dollar transactions with interior designers, hotel owners, and purchasing agents. Learned a lot about the business process, how to make and produce effective profit margins, blah, 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 blah. And now I want to take my 25+ year situationship with Pokemon cards a little more serious by building a business and hopefully opening up my own storefront one day. And if you see my eyes shifting up and down, it's because I am looking at a teleprompter right now, and it was just easier for me to be able to write out all of my thoughts rather than go and post and take 3 hours to cut out all my bad takes. So it's just helpful. So if you see my eyes wandering, that's why I'm reading off a script that I pre-wrote. Okay, let's dive in. So this past weekend, I vended my first show selling Pokemon cards, and man, did I learn a lot. There's definitely a few key takeaways that I have from it, but overall, it was an amazing experience. First, let's just break down the numbers because I know you all love seeing the P&Ls for this stuff. So this past week, I made about $1,100 in sales, most of all these being through in-person cash. I did put a heavy emphasis on moving my sealed product. That being said, all my sealed product had sold, which is amazing. I had also packed out 144 packs of Twilight Masquerade that I sold for about $5.50 to $6 each. And then I also sold a handful of Japanese booster boxes of 151 Terrestrial Festival that around like $115 to $119 for the 151 and around $100 for Terrestrial Festival. So for the show, a table costed me about $30, but beforehand I invested quite a bit into marketing for my booth. So that would be like a banner, a bunch of touch cards and stickers. So after the $30 table, the retractable banner cost me about $200. The stickers I gave away with every purchase was around $60, and I had a little thank you touch card that also was about $70 after buying a bunch of those. And I also bought myself a display case on Amazon, a little travel cart, just to make my life a little bit easier, which totaled around $135. And in addition, for the business, got a handful of restock on supplies for shipping and packing, and of course bought a handful of singles throughout the past week just to keep my inventory up. So lots of business expenses, but they were very necessary, and at least for me in this point of time, pretty worth it. So you may be asking, Brian, is this really all worth it? You're spending all of this money on all these other things that aren't really going back into inventory. And yes, to me, it's completely worth it because essentially every dollar for me that I invest into efficiency and elements that helps me build my brand will help me stand out amongst all the hundreds of others trying to start a Pokemon card business right now. Because to me, building a brand isn't just about creating a website, but it's about creating an experience for customers, because at the end of the day, your brand isn't what you think it is. Your brand is what customers think you are. So I want every interaction and senses that they use when they interact with my brand to be memorable as possible. Now, I know lots of you are probably expecting to see a vendor POV of some sort like a lot of YouTubers do. I did record some stuff. I wasn't super stoked with how it turned out, only because I didn't bring my full camera setup because I really was just focused on making sure my table was good, the brand presence was there. So I'll show some B-roll as I'm talking, but maybe in future I'll have more legit POVs. So as I said, I spent quite a bit of time just making sure I was ready for this show. Really worried about just having good inventory, and with shows that I've been to, everyone had a lot of high-end stuff, and I was like, I do have high-end stuff, but not like a lot of it. So I was worried that I wasn't going to have product for people that they wanted to buy. Well, I was very right, and I was actually very wrong. So in my display case, I had more of my liquid cards that were about $20 to $120, and those were cards I felt like could move really quickly because of what I've sold in the past. What I realized is that there were two types of buyers. One, there was a buyer that was trying to get everything at 80% or less because they were trying to resell for their store, or there was the casual collector that didn't want to spend more than $10 in the card. Now, was that disappointing? Absolutely not, because what it showed me is the importance of making sure to have really good high quality $1 to $5 cards for people who just want to collect or complete master sets. So at the end of the day, that wasn't really a terrible situation that none of my higher end stuff sold. And the great thing is that a lot of those $1 to $10 cards were from the collection that I bought a few weeks back. Again, there was a lot of worry about if I was going to even move any of that bulk because none of it was really of worth the value. But for me, that was about $200 of sales of just from that collection that I bought. So it's already starting to pay itself off. And because I bought so many of those, around 1,000-ish to 1,500, technically I bought all of those cards at around 50 cents each. So if I'm selling a card for $1 to upwards of $10, I'm making great margins on selling these lower end cards. So when people want to buy my sealed stuff, I did take a little bit of a hit because they were buying in bulk, but I feel like I was able to make some of those margins in selling those singles, which is a great payoff for me. One thing I was also surprised to see was that even though I had all my Twilight Masquerade packs out, I had also Japanese 151 and Terrestrial Festival, and the Twilight Masquerade was priced the cheapest, but because I think of the demand and lack of inventory for English Prismatic and 151, people were really trying to find those chases and those sets through the Japanese sets rather than the English. So that just told me that I will continue to stock those two boxes because of the high demand for them. So one of my favorite things about the show was being able to talk to collectors and kids and asking kids who their favorite Pokemon was, being able to find that Pokemon in the cards that I had, give it for free. And of course, if they bought something, also give them a free pack. Generosity is something that I want to be part of my business, and it was honestly one of the most life-giving parts of vending that event. Being able to give out free cards and free packs to kids, honestly, with where the hobby is at right now, that my brand is standing out as a business that is generous and thinks about everyone in the hobby, not just about making money. So one of the things that we also did was my wife was there and our friend was there, and I said, hey, let's go get to know some of the other vendors. Let's make sure you buy some products for them, and not for the sake of any personal gain, but just because we want to be able to support other local businesses as well. So as far as my booth and table, we had a pretty good system down. I would say I'd probably want to buy like an extra table next time because we had a lot of binders. We had all of our sealed and the big display case. And basically what I did is I taught my wife and our friend how to look up latest comps on cards. That way, if I was working on like a bigger deal on one end, they could be selling singles or selling the packs on the other end. So it worked out pretty well, and I think that next time we'll be able to do something like that again. So I'm hoping I left an impression on some people. I know at the very least the promoter, because he came up to us at the end of the show, was like, man, your guys' marketing and setup is so legit, and he pretty much thought we were way bigger than we were. And he's like, do you guys have a store? I was like, no, I just started like a month ago. So anyways, my wife and I were very blessed to be able to vend that show, and I feel like that was a huge success even for just a few hours, and we're hoping that we can start vending at least once a month moving forward. So with that, one of my next moves is probably going to be doing Whatnot streaming. Now, of course, Whatnot kind of has this weird rep right now because of one bad streamer that resealed the Prismatic pack. Now, I don't think that all rip and shippers are bad. I don't think that Whatnot is bad, but as a business owner, you have to kind of diversify your income streams. So of course, make sure you're following me on social media to see when I'll be doing Whatnot, and hopefully I'll be able to do it the next month or so, even sooner, hopefully. But again, that's a place where I can move a lot of the lower end singles and make sure I'm churning and burning to get more inventories. Okay, so now let's talk about more of the business expenses. I finally took the plunge to set up my LLC, which cost me about $180 to file. Good thing is that with everything that I've currently made, my CPA is able to basically backlog everything I've spent and done in January. That way all of that is recorded and I can write that off and hopefully get down to net zero with all my expenses. So get a good CPA. If you don't have one, especially if you're starting a Pokemon card business and you're doing a lot of volume and you're making a lot of sales, I would encourage you to get someone to help you get the most out of your taxes and what you're spending. at the end of the year. So one exciting thing that I'm going to be exploring is a free, absolutely free mastermind of building a Pokemon card business. Now, I am not a pro at building a Pokemon card business because I've only been doing it for 6 weeks at the time of this video, but I know how to build businesses. And if you know me, I am obsessed about content and branding. And so for you, if you watch all my videos and you're like, man, I love this content, it's giving me encouragement, but I want more, I don't have enough here to take the plunge, then this might be for you. A bunch of you always leave me a DM over on Instagram saying you watch all my videos and have more questions, which is amazing. And what I love about that is that you are consuming the content, but then you're looking for more. So if you're one of those people who want to take that next step, knowing how to build a brand, knowing how to find your target audience, knowing how to get a good startup going, again, like I don't have a lot of experience in selling Pokemon cards yet, but I can help you figure out and kickstart the things that you need to get your business going. Of course, if you're like, I don't got time for that, I don't want to do that, join my Discord. But for those of you who want to sit in a little mastermind with about 5 other people, talk about what you're worried about, what things that you may want to do, or if you just want a sounding board for how to start your business from a branding standpoint, this might be a great place for you to dive in. So to apply for that, that is in the description in this video, and would love to have you guys be a part of it, and hopefully it blows up into something. Otherwise, again, right now at the very beginning, it's absolutely free, so take advantage of it and don't miss out because it could be really valuable for you to start your Pokemon card business. Finally, the last thing I want to announce is that at least at the timing of this video, I currently have around 700, 750-ish subscribers here on YouTube, which means we are on the countdown to 1,000 subscribers. So as a small thank you, I want to give away a free booster box of Battle Partners once we hit 1,000. The way that you can enter in that giveaway is by commenting on this video, Road to 1,000, and also go follow me on Instagram and comment Road to 1,000 there also. Now, if your handles are different on both channels, make sure you DM me that so that way I can get you in the drawing. It'll be a lot of work for me, but I want to make sure that everyone has a fair chance of getting the booster box. So again, it's just a small thank you of following me along the journey. At the beginning of 2025, I didn't realize that me just wanting to document my personal journey of starting a Pokemon card business would resonate and provide value to so many of you. So I appreciate it so very much. And again, this is just a very small thank you of supporting me on my journey of selling Pokemon cards. So that's it for this week's video. Thank you all so much for subbing to the channel. I'm hoping to get another quick video out later this week. I'm out of town this coming weekend, but want to make sure that I'm giving you guys updates as much as possible. Make sure to follow me on social media and TikTok at PokeBriBri if you want to take the conversation further. Otherwise, stay safe and I'll see you guys in the next one.